Welcome back to the Born Offside show. I'm here with none other than OLANTEKKERS. How you doing?
I'm good. I didn't like the intro, Kat.
Why?
But it was, Claudes normally gives a bit more energy. He's going to be listening to that going,
here
you know what, Kat did
all
it
right.
right.
Do you want me to actually just
Drum
start
roll.
again?
Yeah, drum roll.
All right.
Just a bit more, a little bit more.
Welcome back to
There you
the
go.
Born Offside show. I'm here with OLANTEKKERS. We're going to skip past him. And an awesome co-host it's the first time he's joined us on the couch here for Born Offside. It's Adam Doueihi. Welcome so much. Welcome so much.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Good job.
For hopping on the couch.
Yes, you're the West Tigers 5'8", halfback, centre. You play a bunch of positions there. And you're currently kind of recovering from an ACL injury as well. We have to start with something really exciting that happened over the weekend. We're very lucky to be talking to you today because Axel Twal broke the drought. He scored his first try over the weekend.
He did.
The NRL world went
Everyone's
insane.
gone crazy.
Yeah. Tell us what was that like to see him do that? And then if you can give us a little insight into just the Tigers' experience as a player and seeing that happen.
Yeah, I think the whole club's happy it's sort of over with. I think he's been playing grade for 7 odd years, so
That's mad.
it's a ridiculous time without scoring a try. But when he went over on the weekend, I was sitting sort of with the coaches at the back, and everyone just erupted. The crowd was cheering, and then I saw they got in a tunnel after he scored. They were in a huddle after they scored, and they had the camera on him. I could just tell his mind was just everywhere else. He wasn't listening to anything they were saying. He was just so relieved. And I spoke to him this morning, and he said his phone hasn't stopped buzzing. Every media outlet wants a piece of him, and it's actually made pretty big news for something.
It has. No,
it's funny.
Videos all over TikTok.
Yeah, I've seen
Everybody's saying it's not just a moment for the Tigers, it's a moment for NRL.
Yeah,
Someone said it was a try for the world, which I thought was hilarious. But tell me, has there ever been a bit of a plan around getting Twal's first try?
Yeah, it's definitely been planned.
Yeah.
Even this preseason,
7 years.
Tim coming in this year really wanted to make him get one, and I think the start of the season we had some sort of set plays down their try line to try and getting over, but obviously the results weren't going our way, so we threw that out the door, and we just threw him in the deep end and said, try your best, we're not helping you anymore, just go do something yourself.
We've done our best.
Like we've done everything we can do.
Wasn't there I don't know if there was forgive me if I'm wrong, but there was a try last year where he I swear he got it, but it was disallowed.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Round 2 this year as well against the Knights, who dropped it over the line off Appy, so...
Someone's got there. That's crazy.
It meant even more to him because he's
Yeah.
felt what it's like to put it down on the try line, but this time that was a try, fair and square. Like it was a beautiful try. He was in the right place at the right time. But what a moment it was. And even being a relatively new fan of the NRL, even you, Olan, knew what a big deal that try was.
Yeah, I could see everyone was posting it. It was everywhere, But I don't know if you know Makatoa from the Eels team scored his first try as well. People say he walked, so Twal could
was
run.
that his first?
That was his first ever.
The chip from Siva.
Yeah,
Wow.
the little chip. That was his first ever. I think he's been playing, I don't know, he's played like 50 games.
Yeah, wow.
Scored one, so that was his first as well. So, don't forget about Makatoa.
I think there was in the final fixture of the weekend as well between Sharks and Bulldogs. I'm pretty sure a player or two got their first try as well. It was the weekend of first tries.
First try scores.
But Adam, we have you on the podcast. Obviously, you're an NRL player. You represent the Lebanese community here in Australia as well, which is really important. Go the Lebanese. But you are a football fan in your own right as well. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm a big Liverpool fan.
No, don't boo him.
Both my brothers are diehard United fans, so we have a lot of clashes at home. But
you picked the right side though.
Yeah,
but why Liverpool, man?
I know. I grew up supporting Liverpool. My godfather was a Liverpool fan, so I guess he just threw me in the deep end, and just a top club to support, or the best club to support.
Tough season for us recently, though.
I've heard about it from the United fans, especially that they qualify for the first time for God knows how long, and they let you know about it. But we'll be back in Champions League next year, I'm sure.
You know what? The Europa League's looking really good.
Anyway. Europa League?
Not a
Is
fan.
that what you're saying now? Europa League?
I don't think there's anything wrong with Europa League.
I mean, each to their own. I mean, Champions League.
I can barely hear you from where you are on the table.
Listen, Chelsea, it's a rebuilding year. Okay, next year we're rebuilding. We'll be back.
Bit of rebuilding to do anyway. Have you been to Anfield? Have you had the Liverpool experience?
I was lucky enough to go this year for the Rugby League World Cup. Was in England, and we're based in Manchester, and me and a few of the boys are pretty big soccer fans, so we ended up going to a few games at Anfield, went to a Champions League game there.
Sick.
And a few Premier League games. Went to Emirates and watched Arsenal there, and went to Old Trafford and watched United there. So made the most of it. And, it was Anfield, unreal atmosphere. We even got to sit in the Cop one of the games as well, so it was pretty good. And my brother, the United fan, we had there was a penalty from, I think it was Leeds at the time, on the Cop end, and my brother, being a United fan, went to sort of record the goal, and the bloke next to him sort of arced up at him a bit. I was, well, why are you recording the goal? Like, I think he realised that he wasn't a Liverpool fan, and my brother backtracked him. He goes, no, I'm just watching, he's going to save it. And he actually saved it. So he saved us from probably getting bashed or something.
Oh my God.
That is also what I find different about sports over here, or even like rugby league or A-League and stuff. Like, there's no allocated section for supporters.
Yeah.
So like for the diehards.
For the diehards. No, there is a little bit. You've got the RBB section, but like,
or the Cove.
The Cove as well, but in England or whatever, there's like a whole support section that if you support the other team and you sit in there, just shut up, don't speak.
It reminds me of my earliest experiences in the NRL, being a Bunny supporter, and when you would go to games and you're in the wrong seat, those are the scariest experiences I've had personally, like way scarier than A-League. It was always like I have a memory of going to like my first Roosters Rabbitohs game, and even just like walking past Roosters supporters was scary. They would be like giving you like
Souths are diehards.
We're great fans. All right, so speaking of the World Cup, we obviously just saw the Socceroos play Argentina. That was an amazing fixture. I think it's fair to say that the Socceroos did all right. It was a 2-0 result against Argentina, and Messi scored in less than 2 minutes. It's actually his fastest international goal.
Wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, no. I mean, at least Australia are holding a record for something. You're remembered for something. Yes. Like, why not? I was watching the game, but to be fair, I thought when he scored that first goal, I said, "Oh Lord,
yeah,
no,
here we go.
This could get really, really bad." But when they grew into the game, they did. Juki had a chance as well that he could have finished. Shout out to Boss. He played really well.
His debut, like a starting debut, which was amazing. He played unreal.
Amazing. I think he'll be one to watch for the future. He's super young as well, isn't he? Like early 20s or 19, yeah. 21. So like it was good, man. The Socceroos, they're building for next couple of years. So
they are. They're showing good signs. Did you catch that game, or is there anyone who kind of stands out in that side for you?
I'm a big Messi hater, so when I saw him,
you're a Messi hater.
Yeah,
oh Lord, get him off the couch.
I'm a big Ronaldo fan, but
no, there's two types of people in this world: people that like Messi and people that like Ronaldo. Anyone that likes Ronaldo, you know what kind of guy they are. You know what I'm saying?
Don't stop me.
It's true, man. He's the GOAT, man.
We're starting off the pod with some major tension, which is great.
It's good. He's a Tigers player anyway. I feel makes sense.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, it was coming.
A few wins and they start talking a bit much. But it's all right.
Don't worry, Mitch Moses. I got you, mate.
Are we going to talk about now? When Adam arrived earlier, we went flashback to a moment where you two have met before.
Super fan.
Yeah,
gosh.
and
Kat, you're capping.
No, I'm not capping.
She's capping. But okay, go. Tell your story.
You're a super fan of Mitchell Moses because we were standing in the line at Accor Stadium waiting for food. Mitchell Moses walks past. I've never seen this man lose his cool the way that he did in that moment. And he's like, should I go? Should I chase after him?
That's Mitch Moses.
He turned into Usain Bolt running towards us.
Yeah. And I said, start running. I was like, go get your photo, go have your moment, whatever. Starts running. I ran after you.
It was a fast walk. It was a fast walk.
To be fair, a fast walk for you was a run for me, and I was trying to keep up.
I was like, Mitch, how are you, mate? Yeah. And then and just walk off all the cool like you didn't try and just say hello. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. That was a good experience.
So you had your moment. You got to meet Mitch Moses, and you've had a blossoming friendship.
I mean, he follows me, give him a message now and then. I like to say we're friends now.
Yeah, there you go. So that was the first time you two actually met.
Yeah, it was.
And it turns out I was there for it too, but it was definitely your moment, not mine. You mentioned World Cup representing Lebanon. Let's talk a bit about that because we've got a World Cup around the corner here in Australia. And I think, obviously it's a big deal for the Matildas to be playing a home World Cup. But just talk to us about that experience of playing in a World Cup and just what it feels like to represent a nation.
Yeah, it's definitely different to club footy, I feel. I've got a close connection sort of with Lebanon, and both my parents are Lebanese, and we're a big, I guess, cultural family, and a lot of the Lebanese, I guess, are like that. And to go to England as sort of not one of the big nations, and to just have a bunch of sort of part-time players with full-time players, and really connect really well. And I guess our main goal for us was to qualify automatically for the next World Cup, and to do that we had to win 2 games, and we're able to do that. And I guess, I don't know, just to represent your country on such a big stage is pretty cool. And you definitely try and, I guess, push a little bit harder when you're representing a country.
Another player who just debuted for Bulldogs as well.
Khaled Rajab.
Yeah, he, I noticed that all the Lebanese supporters get behind him and support him.
Sick.
Is that something that it really does for you guys
I think it does. It sets a platform for, I guess, younger Lebanese kids. There's not a whole lot of Lebanese kids playing, I guess, full-time footy, but the more I'm watching, I guess, the younger grades and kids coming through, there actually is a sort of big bunch of Lebanese kids coming through, and that's one of our main goals, being the senior team, is to try and set a good example for these young kids coming through, and I guess give them something to look up to and achieve. And I feel as though there definitely is more young Lebanese kids playing the game at the moment.
Yeah, and we see that a lot in the football too, with A-League and NPL, and that connection with culture, and how that plays such a big role in developing, I guess, that younger generation and encouraging them to pursue that professional life.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the CLAUDES now. I feel like they've inspired a whole generation of African Australians to try and reach the levels that they've reached. So it is good. I think you can attach that culture to a team or a person. It helps the whole community. So sick.
Yeah, it's really special. And do you think that there's more pressure on the Matildas because it's a home World Cup?
Yeah, you'd put pressure on yourself. I guess it doesn't happen very often where you get your own, I guess, World Cup. And I know with the likes of Sam Kerr and stuff in the team, they're going to really be wanting to perform good, especially in a home ground. Home ground advantage does count and does help. So hopefully they can make the most of it, I guess. Yeah,
I also think they need to. For me, they got to make it. I'd say at least if it's not semis, it's a failure for me.
Yeah.
At home, on the home turf, I feel like it's a failure for me. And after that American commercial, I know.
Yeah, you need the girls to back you on that one.
I was gonna add that Kate.
Yes.
What's her name again?
Kate Abdo.
Kate Abdo commented on my video.
If you don't know who Kate Abdo is,
if you don't know who she is, you don't know ball, pretty much.
Yeah.
But she's probably the most high-profile woman that has ever laughed at me. So I will take that to the grave, 100%. Man, I'm chilling now, changing my number. Henri, I'm coming for you.
To be honest, fair enough.
What more can I say?
Fair enough.
I showed my dad.
What did your dad say?
My dad said, "Well done, man."
Producer Shabs is
two
losing
super
it.
fan moments in one.
Yeah, wow. Look at you trying to claim that you're not a super fan, and then you do that about Kate Abdo.
True.
Although, if I met Kate Abdo, I'd simply pass away.
The fact that she knows who I am is crazy. She was scrolling and said, "This is funny."
Funny enough to comment.
And funny enough to say, "I've got a comment." That's different.
That's pretty unreal.
That's different. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a bit of football now.
Yeah.
We've got the fact that Manchester City just won Champions League. They secured the treble. It's insane, right, to think that a team is dominating Europe the way that they are. But I think one of the biggest takeouts of that win is looking at the personalities of that team. And you've got the likes of Jack Grealish and how him and his celebrations made headlines.
He's been on a bender for 2 weeks, isn't he?
I love all the memes coming out of it of him just with a hoodie on. A bit like the hoodie that you're wearing right now. Like that, just severely hungover.
Kyle Walker was like carrying him to getting on the plane.
And there's a quote from him saying, during his drunken parade shenanigans, "I'm a turkey and the turkey needs feeding" before downing another drink. Yeah. He's just on another level. I want to know who's the Jack Grealish of the NRL.
Oh, the NRL.
That's a great question. You'd know more.
I don't know. That Brendan Smith seems pretty. I haven't been out with him. It seems pretty loose, but
the cheese. I think he's one who would take the celebrations to the level of a Jack Grealish celebration.
I think there's more in the NRL than the EPL, that's for sure.
Love a drink.
So what you're saying is there's a few Jack Grealishes in the NRL. Sure. I love that. And obviously another talking point out of that is Pep Guardiola and what he's done with that squad. Do you think he's one of the greatest managers of all time?
Oh, you'd have to say, yeah. I guess I think one of the 2 clubs now, the treble, which is it's almost impossible to do.
He joined Sir Alex Ferguson with the record.
And he's been around for so long that you kind of forget what he's done, you know.
But Sir Alex's record is it's ridiculous almost.
Yeah, it is.
The success.
So the success rate and win rate is insane. But of course, everyone's going to say, you know, he needs the money. But you know, you can't fault it. He's done what he's done.
Do you think for him the job is done at City now? Like it's in terms of finding that next move, or what do you think he's going to try and back it up?
Did you hear what he said after the game? He said something about like Madrid, watch out, you turn your back and we'll have 7 or something like that.
Oh,
so it sounds like he just wants to keep winning Champions Leagues.
He sees it as an opportunity to back it up now. I mean, he broke the Champions League drought that had followed him around for a while, and he's done it. It's amazing. Who's the Pep of the NRL?
Oh,
surely it's Wayne Bennett.
Wayne Bennett or Craig Bellamy. Both of them have. I mean, Craig's had success at one club, I guess, his whole career, and Wayne, you know, almost everywhere he goes, gets immediate success. So, they've coached, you know, numerous games for numerous seasons and decades, and I guess Wayne's probably the more impressive one to go to different clubs and just, you know, demand success. Even this year at the Dolphins, I guess. Most people tipped them as sort of, you know, wooden spoon favourites, and to come out of the season the way they did, and I guess get not really big namers playing, you know, good footy is what he's the best at, and giving players confidence, and he could probably be classified as the Pep of the Rugby League.
I'd agree with that. Definitely looking at what he did with Rabbitohs as well. All right. This is such a funny story about Speed meeting his hero, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah,
did you see the video? It was hard to miss it. Similar to the Grealish celebrations, you couldn't miss it. But there's so much that went into him meeting CR7.
Yeah,
it wasn't
not a lot
just
of people know that.
No, it wasn't just this moment of the car pulling up and Speed seeing him. It was actually Rafa Leao had made sure that Ronaldo would stop and that they would meet. But Speed had actually met Ronaldo's family earlier that day.
Oh, really? I didn't know
He'd
that.
slowly met everyone. So like this took a couple of hours to actually come to fruition. And then there was this moment where Rafa Leao gets out of the car before Ronaldo, stops, says hi to Speed, and then he kind of signals to Ronaldo's car to stop, and you know, this is the guy he's got to meet. Ronaldo gets out, and then we see Speed react the way that he did.
He does the sue as well with him. That's mad. Like, how can you make Ronaldo do his own celebration?
I know.
That's why Ronaldo was good about it. For him to stop and actually like engage with him, I think it was, you know, pretty impressive from him.
Yeah.
That's what Olan looked like when he met Mitch Moses.
Similar. Very similar.
What I was gonna ask is who is someone on this earth that would make you react like that?
Oh, Ronaldo.
Yeah, so you get down and you go, go. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're so like calm and collected. I can't imagine you doing like Speed.
Who is it for you, Kat? I know it's gonna be a dude. So go on.
Excuse me.
100%.
No, I'm gonna say it's Kate Abdo.
Really?
Wow.
I don't know, for the sake of it not being a man.
See?
I'm not proving you right.
For me, I think probably I'd say Messi, but that's too typical.
Also, I don't think Messi would cope. The way that Ronaldo dealt with that situation, Messi would get so awkward.
You think because yeah.
He doesn't have the English either.
I was saying this morning, I think Ronaldo's
More
probably the most famous person in the world, I reckon.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, he is.
Well, he's the most followed on Instagram, so it'd have to be.
Yeah.
How many followers does he have, Shabzy? Do you know?
Oh, something ridiculous, surely.
500 million.
Like I remember
something.
when I was there was a documentary I think it was his documentary where it came out and it said that he gets paid like almost like $1 million per post.
It's ridiculous.
591 million.
500. He has.
He's the most known
That's
person.
more
worldwide,
than
I
like
reckon.
countries have
More than our
people. Yeah, that's like more than 10 times Australia's population.
That is insanity. Yeah.
Is it kind of crazy? Because you guys have a similar following on Instagram, around 30K, or yours around 40K now?
55, but yeah.
Oh,
Keep going.
whoa, that grew.
No, I'm just saying.
But is
Yeah,
it
when you
not-
post every second day. it
Yeah,
helps a
true,
lot,
true,
man.
true. I
Well,
know.
this is my job.
I'll stay on the
you know?
cover.
That's why I'm not at that level as well. But is it not kind of cool how you can go into a stadium and say it's a 30,000, you're at Combank, and like that's the amount of people that follow you, I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but like
I always think
that's the amount of people that I've sat in a stadium with you before, and I remember you saying something of that nature.
Like, sometimes you don't really put it into perspective how many people follow you, even if you've got a small following, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. You're like
small, chill. I'm just joking.
Small compared to Ronaldo.
A few of the Penrith boys have like in the hundreds of thousands. And
well, Josh Adokar like 300k or something.
And they speak to some high-profile people from overseas, I'll say, and they reply and stuff. So it's
pretty cool.
Impressive.
But nice. Imagine how many stadiums Ronaldo needs to be able to see all his fans in one place.
Think about it.
It's unbelievable. It's hard to fathom.
That level of stardom is just, I don't know how I'd even deal with it, to be honest.
No, I don't know. But mission is to get Doueihi to meet Ronaldo, and then we can...
Is that the goal?
That's the goal.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Well, I'm just thinking, is he going to come?
Well, they're saying the next World Cup for us, because France have pulled out, that apparently Qatar was after. I don't know how true it is, but close to Saudi Arabia, maybe make the trip over or something. Could
be, all right. Yeah, we're planning. We'll plan around it.
I'll send him a message.
See, you've got a blue tick, son.
Yeah, make it happen. All right, so luckily we're going to do a second episode with you, Adam, and we're going to do a bit of a guess who between the two of you, and you're both going to be given a Premier League or an NRL player.
Sick.
And you have to play.
I think my NRL knowledge is better than his Premier League knowledge.
Well, specific to Liverpool.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I also think you need to just stop flexing so hard.
How am I flexing?
You're flexing your knowledge. We'll test you then. I'm going to make sure you get some hard ones, okay? But let's jump into this episode. So let's talk about Haaland as well. Mm-hmm. When we've talked about Pep, we've talked about Ronaldo, like these kind of goats of the game. Haaland is this young gun, right, that has got everyone talking about his achievements and what he's done since he joined the Premier League. Is it fair to say that the Ballon d'Or is his after this season?
Oh, 100%. I think after Messi and Ronaldo, they're not. I think the next 2 years they probably won't be winning it. I'd say it has to be him. The next up and coming has to be him.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at what he's achieved this season, Premier League winner, Premier League Golden Boot winner, Player of the Season, FA Cup winner, Champions League winner, and Champions League Golden Boot.
Who won it last year? Benzema. Yeah, has to be him.
Yeah. What do you think? Are you a Haaland fan?
I'm a Haaland fan, and I did watch the Champions League final, and I thought he disappeared a bit, but like didn't really get involved much. I mean, wasn't really creating much. I know he's more of the put the ball through and let him finish, but I just thought he was disappointing in the Champions League final. But yeah, I think the Ballon d'Or has to be his. Yeah.
Do you think though that the pressure of getting to a final like that can even someone as great as him, it can still hit them? Like, he is young.
Yeah, I forget how young he is, but I also think some people are just built for that kind of stage, and I think he's one of them. Like him and Mbappe, I'm him when it comes to those moments.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think he's probably going to show us. He's got a whole career ahead of him, but I think he's going to show us a lot of moments where you go, okay, yeah, this guy's the best player in the world.
Yeah. So he gets your vote for Ballon d'Or.
For sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think also, you look at Messi and winning the World Cup and everything like that, but what Haaland's done, when you are also part of a country that is likely never going to do that well in the World Cup, when you're Norwegian, you're not competing with the likes of Argentina and Portugal and Brazil and these countries. So you're kind of at a disadvantage. So what he's done is amazing. All right, quick question. What do Adam Doueihi, Virgil van Dijk, and Federico Chiesa have in common?
Not much.
Oh, no, there's something.
There's something. I think I know.
Virgil van Dijk.
You've all tore ACL.
Oh, yeah.
Tall as well.
Not a fun stat to share.
He said height.
I'll cop that.
Look, I think something that it's obviously playing an important kind of like role, I guess, in your journey right now is the injury that you're navigating, and it's something that is so prevalent in football as well. The ACL injury comes up time and time again.
When I was choosing a surgeon, I actually reached out to the surgeon that did his ACL surgery. And,
who? Van Dijk's?
Yeah, Van Dijk's.
Oh, wow.
Does a few of the high-profile EPO. He did Zlatan Ibrahimovic's as well. So we had a few Zoom calls with him, and I was actually very close to flying to England and doing this one over there, but we decided to just do it here. And
you found a good surgeon here.
Yeah, down in Melbourne. So
Amazing. Well, I mean, it's fair to say, you look at Chiesa, right? His bounce back from his ACL injury is amazing. In fact, he was running circles around Virgil van Dijk the other day in the Nations League. But Virgil van Dijk is one of those players. He's Liverpool, of course, but I think a lot of people have questioned how well he did bounce back from his ACL injury. Is that something that obviously, you know, sits on your mind a little bit around what you've been through this before, right? You know what that recovery is like, and does it kind of sit at the back of your head of what that return can look like?
Yeah, it definitely does. This is my third one now, so the first one was probably the hardest mentally to come back from, and I was still in my debut season when I did it, and the next season we had a change in coaches as well, so you start thinking whether the next coach will like you or whether you will come back with the same ability or not. But I guess it comes with experience and going through a fair few now that I have a pretty positive mindset around things, and I know that I'm going to come back the same ability and try and be better.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that you've done so much for the Tigers that your place in the team would be, without a question for sure. But
hope so.
Definitely.
Yeah, don't jinx it.
You've got the back.
Someone's gonna clip this to see it. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Chill. But I mean, obviously the experience of having done it before would mean that you walk into this one and you're so much more prepared and you know what that time span looks like as well.
Yeah. I haven't really spoken too much about sort of a return to date play yet. I'm just staying in the now, and I had to do 2 separate surgeries, and my next one's coming up, so I haven't really spoken to a high performance about return dates, but I'm just going to live in the now and get this next surgery done, and then I guess rip into my rehab after that, and whenever I return, I'll return.
I had surgery when did I have surgery? Maybe
a couple months
ago at Achilles. So I mean, obviously, a very, very low level to you, but I'm in that. Am I ever gonna get back to Big Virgil? I don't know. Am I gonna get back? I don't know, but I don't need the money, so it's fine. It's okay.
Doesn't know if he's gonna get the call back, but
who knows?
That's all right. How's your team doing without you?
Fine.
Oh, that's a worry.
No, I'm joking. Because I only played in the African Cup, so the competition's over.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, the injury setback is something that it's affected Claudes as well, who's obviously not here,
hip surgery twice.
He's been through that as well. Yeah. So it's something that we see, I guess, in every code. But it's really interesting that you spoke to Virgil van Dijk's doctor,
Andy Williams.
Who would have thought? And we thought to create that connection between you two, and we didn't even know that. But I wanted to ask your thoughts on relegation. Now, relegation's something that it's a huge part of this kind of second division conversation with the A-League and looking at these NPL clubs that could come up and actually shake up the A-League system a little bit. It's also the conversation that we love to have about the Premier League, the whole promotion relegation. You look at Luton. I mean, obviously that's done a huge thing for the community that you come from in England. What are your thoughts on a hypothetical relegation promotion system in the NRL?
Yeah, I like him. I'm a fan of him. It definitely couldn't work the way it's structured at the moment, just with, I guess, the second division for us is sort of our feeder team. So it's every team's feeder team in the second comp. So I know for the NRL that it can't work. But, it would be exciting for, I guess, fans to watch and, teams to get relegated and come up. And but then again, I do like final series, and I feel as though if the EPL, did have a final series, it'd erupt and go off. But I'm definitely a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Saab was saying that the level is there's a huge gap, so it would be very, very hard for those teams to play against NRL teams if they did, because everyone's a lot stronger. It's
younger.
all about a lot younger. So do you feel the same?
Yeah, well, our reserve grades mainly or half part-timers, so they've all got a job, so they'd have to almost restructure the whole thing, and I guess whoever's left out of our full-time top squad goes back and plays with them, so I'm not sure how it would exactly work, but I reckon it'll be a good watch. And
who would be a bit of a smoky from a reserve grade if they were to come up and be promoted into the NRL?
I don't know.
Josh Mansell's Newtown Jets?
Yeah, I guess so. Josh there.
Would love to see that. All right, transfer talk. because it's the transfer season, right? Like this, when the football stops, the transfers start.
So much transfers.
There is so much. There's one big one that's made headlines, and it affected all the Liverpool players who thought we might get this guy and we didn't. Jude Bellingham to Real Madrid. Let's talk about it. Let's also talk about the fact that he's 19 and what his journey has looked like so far.
19.
It's ridiculous.
England international.
So young.
He's just signed with Real Madrid. He obviously had an amazing experience with Dortmund.
What a life. Everything that I could have achieved.
Yeah, what is it with Jude? What's the go with Jude?
He's just that guy. And I think, you know what, I'm just hoping, like, don't want to jinx it, but you know, the whole Hazard thing, you know, but he's obviously in a way different stage in his career. And I think it might even propel him to be one of the best players in the world. And he's taking that number 5 from Zidane. He said Zidane's his favourite player ever. I'm like, if you're watching Zidane's clips, I'm like,
big
Lord,
shoes
he's gonna be one of, if that's what you're trying to imitate, oh my Lord, like we are in for a big player. So.
Were you hoping that Liverpool would sign Jude?
Yeah, of course. Well, I think he's a perfect player that we need. Someone in the midfield that can
create
midfielder. And organise everything. I think he'll definitely get to Haaland and Mbappe's level within the next few years. And big club Real Madrid. I guess they've got big expectations, and I'm sure he'll deliver for them.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. It'll be really interesting to see. I'm heading to Spain in September, so I'm hoping I can get in a little trip and see Real Madrid. I'm wearing a Barca shirt right now. I am a Barca supporter, technically, having lived there. But Jude's playing for Real Madrid. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll be there. Declan Rice set to join Arsenal as well after that incredible West Ham win, taking out the European Conference League. Thoughts on Declan Rice?
We spoke to Anton Ferdinand.
We did.
And he kind of embodied and told us like what he
means to the
club. He's basically going to go down a legend. It's like you kind of complete everything you wanted to complete or can do with West Ham, you know, to win a trophy. I think they haven't won a trophy in, I don't know.
Since 1980.
1980, you know, a little bit like Para, to be honest. But he's come and done that, and then it's like, all right, now I can go on and do, you know, push on further in my career. How well will he be at Arsenal? I can see him slotting into the team, but I didn't really want to see him at Arsenal. I wanted to see him at Chelsea.
I think he'll be good there. I think he was a level above his teammates at West Ham, and I think that was quite obvious to see. And big club Arsenal, obviously on the rise still, and probably have more success next year. But I think that's a good signing for him.
Yeah, they're a young team at the end of the day. So the experience of someone like Declan Rice, who isn't old by any means, but he's got that experience. He's played that leadership role at West Ham, and like you said, Anton was great to talk to, and that interview will come out soon, just talking about what Rice did for the club, you know, along the lines of Grealish for Villa before he left, and the West Ham fans will always think very fondly of what he's done for them. Apparently Havertz is also on the way to Arsenal.
I saw that this morning.
Yeah, Arsenal are making some moves, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say I care too much about Havertz leaving, but it's just, I don't know how our squad's going to look next year with Poch, so it'll be interesting.
I know.
To see what happens.
What are your thoughts on Ange Postecoglou to
I love it.
Tottenham?
I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah.
Obviously followed him a little bit at Celtic, and his the success he's had there is great to see for an Aussie, and to get the Tottenham job is just unreal. I've been watching some clips of him, and when he was marked up at training and stuff, and it's quite impressive the way he, I guess, gets the boys fired up, and he looks like a good, intense coach. And if he can get success there, it'll be unreal for us.
Best thing for Australia. Yeah, I feel like there's now this unsaid rule that even if you don't support Tottenham, you kind of want them to do okay.
Them to do well. Yeah. Well, my dad's a Tottenham
torn.
fan, so
is he?
Yeah, he was asking a bit questions about him. But it'll be interesting to see, because obviously you know how the English media or just English fans in general are just all like, who the fuck is this Aussie dude? Like, no one knows who. But it's interesting knowing, coming from the other side where we know him and like we want him to do well. So it's gonna be a fun season for sure for Tottenham.
It will. And We were talking about Messi earlier. He's obviously on his way to Inter Miami. He's going to be playing in a very different part of the world. I love the memes coming out of that of like Messi running circles around people in MLS.
It was like one way he was like driving a car on the way home, and it was like Messi after he's just scored 15 goals against Chicago Fire. I'm just like, what the fuck? So random. Like it's going to be so easy for him. But I'll be interested to see how he does, man.
It will be interesting to see. But apparently Sergio Busquets is set to join him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there we go.
Do you know what annoys me about just people going to America? I feel like Australia should be on the same path with like, do you know what I mean? Like
the
people
MLS.
leaving to go somewhere, like it should be the same thing. Like you can go MLS or you can go Australia, but because obviously we don't have the money, the structure, and I think if Australia had the money, the structure, they could easily sell that same package.
Sell the dream.
That MLS sell, like Miami, like you can move to Bondi, go on the beach, whatever you want, and you're playing for Sydney FC. You could sell that package to a player.
It's the package.
I think it's
what
cash.
Joe Lolly fell for, right?
Yeah.
Like when he thought about playing in Australia and Sydney FC and living in Bondi, like that was the dream.
Yeah, you can
That's
sell
what
that.
Rio said
You can
about
sell that
living
package,
here.
but it's just
You
the-
could do
all
that.
it
We
is
don't have
the
the, we don't have
money.
the cash here, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they get the life and they get the cash.
I think he turned in almost $1 trillion at Saudi, didn't he? Something close to that.
Well, he's going to be. I know that in the end of his contract, by the time
Open his own franchise or
he's
something.
going to be a billionaire or something like that because he's got. He has some sort of TV rights in his
From
thing.
Apple.
He also has like what?
Percentage of every Apple subscription.
Yeah.
Like what? That's just so fucking random, bro. He gets a percentage, and then I think it's also like probably shirt sales as well. Probably.
He's Adidas search house as well, and he gets an option to buy a club.
And he gets the option to
Yeah.
buy a
Oh,
club.
no
The same
biggie.
thing that Beckham got. So like, and Beckham's a billionaire. So you know,
That's
is he? I don't know.
wild.
But yeah, anyway,
All these things that you two need to remember when your negotiations come
Yeah,
up.
100%.
for
Yeah.
sure. Talking to my management about that for sure.
I'm sure you already have been.
The money's up. The money's gone up. Price has gone up after the blue tick for sure.
They're a Saudi Rugby League team, I reckon.
Oh,
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
are you going to go prove some Saudi roots or something just so you can make the
Saudi
team?
Rugby League team would go off.
Can you imagine? Anyway, that's a funny thought. All right, we're going to jump into some fan questions before we wrap up. From Isaac Madden, he wants to know, is football ever spoken about amongst the lads during training?
There's either soccer fans or non-soccer fans in the team, and
Are they haters if they're not into it?
I just don't want to bar it.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. There's a few of us. We got John Bateman signed with us this year.
Yeah,
and he's
Johnny
an Englishman
Bateman.
and big United fan. Not for Lima's a big City fan, and he jumped on the bandwagon. But so no, it's good.
Yeah, love that. And who's the CJI36 wants to know who's the hardest hitter you've ever faced?
Hardest hitter. I got smashed once from George Defoe, who was a Manly winger back in the day. And it was a bit of a meme at the time, and when I was at South. But
Is there a video of that?
yeah, there's.
Oh, I
there's a
love
clip.
that. Clip
I
that
imagine,
with this, please.
yeah, I imagine this will insert the clip here.
Yeah, it wasn't my funnest moment on a footy field. I did get up, but a bit tough.
All that matters is that you got up.
Yeah, see?
Exactly. Yeah.
How does it? No, how does it feel when you get hit though?
Oh, it's
Is it like the wind has just gone out of you?
worst feeling.
I always think when I'm watching rugby league, because I love to watch it, that one tackle and I'm out. One tackle and I'm
done.
done.
That's enough for me.
Because you can hear the smack.
I actually want to play though. Like when I come back and I'm injured, but I'm scared.
What, so you can get injured again?
Yeah, but I'm scared that someone's just gonna put a big hit on me because they want to clip on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't want to play with people that are just gonna take the piss.
Don't you?
Yes, but you know. Any advice for me, man?
No. Don't get advice from me.
He,
I'll shy
he's
away
not
from the
taking
contact.
accountability for any
shy away from
injury
the
that
contact.
you incur.
Okay.
I love this question because I would have asked it too from the Real Inzaghi. Is it the Real Inzaghi? I wonder. If you had to pick a five-a-side team of current NRL players, who are you picking and why?
Soccer.
Yeah.
Wow, five-a-side.
Yeah.
No one from Tigers. That's for sure.
I think Guffer's got.
Are you on
He's
the
a big
team?
football fan.
Are
He's
you
a
on the
football
team
fan.
or are you managing?
I'm on the team, yeah.
Okay.
I've seen Josh Mantles come down and play five-a-side with a few of my friends and stuff.
Okay.
Is he decent?
He's not decent, but I haven't watched many other plays, so I'd throw him in there.
All right.
I'll throw
For the
Mitch in there.
banter.
There's someone on Broncos who's English who's I saw.
Yeah, Herbie Farnworth.
He's
I'll throw him
decent.
in there. He was
He's
in the
not-
United Academy, I think.
Oh,
back
yeah,
in the
He's
yeah,
day.
going
something
to
like that,
Dolphins as well.
Yeah.
So me, Mitch, Sauce, Herbie Farnworth. Probably need a keeper, don't we?
Yeah.
One of the big boys, Junior Paulo or someone. Chuck him in goals.
Going in goal, Jeans.
Just cover the goals.
Yeah, I love that.
That's a great team.
That's decent.
That's
team,
a great team.
man.
I think that they'd give the Born Offside team a run for their
money.
money.
Let's get it organised, man.
Well, no goals would get through if Paulo's in there
in
as
goal.
well.
I don't know if Tigers will let me with these injuries, but maybe I'll manage. I'll manage the game.
You can be the pep. You can be the pep.
You can be the manager, man.
If you were to play, what position?
I don't know. I'll just camp up front probably.
Okay. Do a bit of a Haaland, just in
But
the
I
right
always
place,
feel
right
like
time, knock it
5'8"
in.
is more like a centre mid because you're like dictating
Yeah.
the play.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you're like the more the
You're feeding it. You're
technical
feeding
side
the
of the game.
opportunity.
Yeah, I'll create. Put me in the centre mid.
All right. I like that. And Connor Doueihi. Sounds like someone you might
Yeah,
know.
my brother.
Yeah. He said, who's the king of FIFA at home?
Well, one thing about Lebanese people is we're very competitive, and
Oh, I know.
some FIFA games that me and my brothers have are just we take it way too far and end up in punch-ons afterwards.
You're
No,
kidding
what?
me.
Yes, it's
To be
definitely
fair,
it's
that
not
doesn't
fun.
surprise me at all. I did the same thing with my
Yeah, but I'm
brothers.
always Liverpool. They can't even be United. They don't even play with United, which I think is
You got to
is-
play with the team you
It's
support.
embarrassing that you can't
Yeah.
play the team you support. But
Who are they
it's
playing with
definitely
then?
me. They play Real Madrid or Bayern
fake
Munich,
fans, fake fans.
PSG. Real Madrid
Real
stacked.
PSG.
Real
yeah,
Madrid
you
are
gotta-
stacked in FIFA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got to get out of it, man. The thing about FIFA is I don't really play it anymore just because it just brings a dark side out to me, man.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's like the amount of rage you can feel in FIFA. It's just you can't really put it into words.
not fun.
It's
No, that's
different.
why people
Yeah.
break things.
Yeah, Nick
it's not
Stav
fun.
knows what I'm talking about. He's just
Yeah, that time that you and Claudes versed Stav and I.
yeah. You just got to put it down, and the game's gone downhill anyway, man. It's not as good as it was.
Nah, we played every day. It's
Have
the
you
best.
played Rugby League live?
Nah, Rugby League live.
Bro,
It's his job.
Yeah, but I'm streaming it. So I stream it on TikTok, right? And I get quite a lot. They got updated scores and everything. I'm pretty sure you're on there, man.
I should give it a go.
It's not bad.
All right.
It's actually not terrible.
I think
thought
there
it'd
needs to be a stream where you feature.
Yeah.
Doueihi.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's actually a decent game. I've been playing it.
So you said you're super, super competitive. So did you
Oh,
grow up playing
ridiculous.
like other sports and stuff as well?
Yeah, I played pretty much most sports growing up: rugby union, rugby league, a bit of soccer and cricket, and touch footy. So yeah, played a lot of different sports, and we're a big sporting family, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like even I'm Lebanese too, and when we play even like ping pong as a
Anything,
family,
yeah.
it's violent.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
No,
Jeez.
we've had full on like fights
Yeah.
as a
Breakout.
family over sport, and we were playing darts the other day, like the group, the agency group that works here, and I was just playing normally. And then they're like, "Who hurt you? Like, why do you play like that?" I was like, "What do you mean? This is just how I do
Just
things." I'm
chill,
like,
I'm just
"If
chill.
I'm
Yes.
gonna play, I'm gonna
exactly.
play.
Yeah, I hear
I'm
that.
not messing around." So that's
I
funny.
agree.
It's good to know that it's a cultural thing.
It is.
I think that five-a-side team will be pretty good then if you're
Yeah.
leading it. Yeah, you'd be fine. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Born Offside show, guys. We do have the second episode coming, which is going to be really fun. This Guess Who game between the two of these guys, which I'll have fun moderating. We'll see how that goes. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. And I don't think we'll see everyone for
Yeah,
a
because we're all
couple of
going
weeks.
away. Yeah, I'm away. Claudes is away.
And then I go away.
You go away. So we'll be
Yeah.
back at some point. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll try and keep you guys updated
Yeah.
on the socials and stuff. I think
Yeah.
that's what they want the most. So.
Yeah, off season. That's just how it is. But once again, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having
Cheers,
me.
mate.
And we'll see you guys soon.